Welcome to my bold and beautiful Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. When Nick, Brooke's ex-husband, returns, it shocks her Italian reunion. Brooke Logan is stunned when ex-husband Nick Marone returns during Forrester Creations' Italian fashion shoot. Will this hinder her possibility of seeing Ridge again? This July, the brave and the beautiful travels to Italy. Brooke's explosive Italian reunion. Nick Marone returns as Ridge watches in horror. The countdown to soap's hottest summer storyline has begun as B&B jets off to Italy for a fashion shoot that will change everything. Just when you thought the Brooke Logan/Ridge Forrester saga couldn't get any more complicated, the bold and the beautiful is about to throw a bombshell our way that will leave fans screaming at their screens. Brooke, Ridge, and Eric are heading to the breathtaking landscapes of Capri and Naples for what's supposed to be a fashion shoot. But honey, we all know what really happens when this crew goes international. Nick Marone's return rocks Brooke's world. The biggest shock? Nick Marone is back, people. Yes, you read that right. After years away from our screens, the sailor-turned-businessman played by the incredibly handsome Jack Wagner is sailing back into Brooke's life when she least expects it. And trust me when I say she is going to be floored. Sources reveal that Brooke will be completely blindsided when she comes face-to-face with her ex-husband in Italy. Let's remember, these two have history. Passionate, complicated, can't keep their hands off each other kind of history. And now they're reuniting under the romantic Italian skies? Come on. We've seen what happens when former flames run into each other in exotic locations on this show. One minute they're just talking about old times. And the next, well, let's just say clothing becomes optional. Ridge's jealousy reaches boiling point. Poor Ridge. The man can't catch a break. Just when he thought he might be finding his way back to Brooke, his romantic Italian getaway is about to be crashed by one of his biggest romantic rivals. And sources tell me that Ridge's jealousy will reach nuclear levels when he sees how Nick and Brooke interact. Will Ridge finally make his choice between Brooke and Taylor once and for all? Or will watching Brooke reconnect with Nick push him right back into Taylor's waiting arms? And speaking of Taylor, could she be lurking in the Italian shadows watching it all unfold? It wouldn't be the first time someone coincidentally showed up during a Forrester international trip. Eric's mysterious Italian agenda. Let's not forget about Eric, who's been suspiciously absent from storylines since his miraculous recovery. The Forrester patriarch clearly has his own agenda for this Italian adventure. And it's not just about fashion. Is he really pushing Ridge back toward Brooke out of genuine concern? Or could there be more behind his meddling? After all, Eric and Brooke share their own complicated romantic history, and despite being married to Donna, Eric has never been able to fully let go of his feelings for Brooke. One thing's for sure. Eric in Italy means drama. And I cannot wait to see what the legendary John McCook brings to these Mediterranean scenes. The Italian backdrop spells disaster. The Bold and Beautiful has a long history of explosive storylines unfolding in Italy. Remember Hope and Liam's disastrous Italian wedding? Or the Rome adventure that changed everything last year? People, Naples and Capri aren't just haphazard choices. These romantic, passionate locations are perfect for rekindling old flames and sparking new drama. The blue waters, stunning cliffsides, and moonlit evenings create the ultimate backdrop for betrayals, confessions, and steamy encounters. And let me tell you, the show doesn't fly halfway around the world unless something major is about to go down. What happens in Italy won't stay in Italy. Whatever unfolds during this fashion shoot in July will have ripple effects for months to come. Will Brooke be tempted by her ex? Will Ridge make a grand romantic gesture? And what exactly is Eric plotting behind the scenes? One thing's certain, by the time this Italian adventure is over, relationships will be forever changed. Could we see Brooke and Nick reuniting? Might Ridge finally make his choice? Or will Eric's mysterious agenda throw everything into chaos? The one absolute guarantee is that this won't be just another international fashion shoot. Lives will change, hearts will break, and secrets will be revealed under those Italian skies. I don't know about you, but July can't come fast enough. Mark your calendars, soap fans. This is one Mediterranean getaway you do not want to miss. Brooke's double shock. Liam gets worse and Luna's vengeful plot. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the week of May 12th to May 30th hint that Brooke Logan will experience two shocks as Liam Spencer's health deteriorates. Meanwhile, Luna Nozawa seeks vengeance against Steffi Forrester, setting the stage for intense drama. May 12th to 16th. Liam's lies, Carter's misunderstanding. From May 12th to 16th, Liam will hide his brain tumor from Bill Spencer. Yet they will share a heartfelt conversation that strengthens their father-son relationship. I hope that when they meet later, Logan will keep Liam's dire situation a secret. As Hope expresses her desire for a future with Liam, Carter Walton will overhear her words from just outside the door. B&B spoilers say that Carter will react badly, but Daphne Rose will tell him to take this as a sign that he can finally move on from Hope. But of course, Daphne would do that since she wants Carter for herself. Liam's continued encouragement, Luna's surprise visit. Liam will believe that Hope is meant to be with Carter, giving Carter significantly longer life ahead. We'll witness Liam trying to persuade Hope her future lies with Carter. When Steffi returns to the Cliff House, she will find Luna and John Finnegan in the living room. This will set off a dramatic scene. After demanding Luna to leave and never return, Steffi will update Finn on her discussion with Hope. Taylor Hayes will also be in the loop, joining Finn in supporting Steffi, affirming that her actions were in Hope's best interest. This is a complex situation, but it was crucial for Hope to understand Liam's dire condition, regardless of his reluctance to share it. May 19th to 23rd. Liam's peace request, Brooke's shock. Hope and Steffi will attempt to fulfill Liam's wish for the mothers of his daughters to unite between May 19th and 23rd. Bringing Hope back to Forrester Creations is a good start, allowing her to apologize for her role in the takeover and receive a warm welcome from Steffi. Brooke will likely be surprised to see Hope and Steffi getting along. Another shock for Brooke could be Hope's growing feelings for Liam. Even if Hope thinks about reuniting with Carter, it might not happen if she finds him involved with Daphne, which could make her more determined to stay with Liam. Meanwhile, Luna will struggle with vengeful feelings as she believes Steffi is hindering her chance to bond with Finn. How long can Luna resist her urge for revenge? Luna's struggle for Will, Liam's worsening symptoms, May 26th to 30th. From May 26th to 30th, Luna might try to get closer to Will Spencer. If Will learns that Liam has an inoperable brain tumor, Luna could step in to support him. There will likely be some leaks, especially since Hope is aware of Liam's situation. Will might overhear something at work if Hope talks to Brooke. Regardless, Liam's condition will deteriorate, making it hard for him to hide his tumor. Even those who are unaware may start to question his health. Upcoming spoilers for the CBS soap indicate that the next 3 weeks will focus heavily on Liam, so keep watching. The Italian sun rises over the Amalfi Coast, casting a golden hue across the ancient cliffs of Capri as the Forrester Creations team descends upon the Mediterranean for what's billed as a glamorous fashion shoot. But the runway is merely the setting. The true spectacle is about to erupt behind the scenes. Brooke Logan, ever the radiant centerpiece of Forrester's romantic and professional drama, finds herself once again at the heart of a storm, only this time the winds are blowing from her past with the sudden, shocking return of ex-husband Nick Marone. The stage is set for a battle of hearts, history and heartbreak as Rich Forrester, her forever on and off soulmate, watches in horror from the shadows of an ancient villa terrace. Nick's arrival is nothing short of a bombshell, unannounced, uninvited, and perfectly timed to upend Brooke's delicate path back toward Ridge. It sends shockwaves not only through her but through the entire Forrester entourage. As recollections of their complicated, passionate past flood back in with a vengeance, Brooke, once the nexus of desire, loyalty and longing, finds her emotions churning like the sea beneath Nick's fabled sailboat. Jack Wagner's return as the roguishly charming Nick adds a palpable electricity to the already volatile situation, and as he approaches Brooke with a devil-may-care grin and a quiet "Ciao, Logan," it's clear that this Italian reunion is anything but coincidental. Ridge, already torn between Brooke and Taylor in Los Angeles, now finds himself confronting an old enemy in an old land, and his jealousy, never far beneath the surface, erupts like Vesuvius as he watches the woman he thought he was reclaiming fall under the intoxicating spell of another man's gaze. But Ridge isn't the only one with an agenda on this trip. Eric Forrester, whose recent re-emergence from medical obscurity raised eyebrows and hopes alike, has been orchestrating more than just a fashion spectacle. He's been quietly pulling strings in hopes of reuniting Ridge and Brooke, believing that their love represents the Forrester legacy at its purest. Yet even Eric is blindsided by Nick's appearance, and questions begin to swirl about whether this was truly a coincidence, or whether someone tipped Nick off about the trip, planting him in Italy to stir the pot and tip the scales of fate. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, the emotional terrain is just as fraught, as Liam Spencer's hidden brain tumor continues to wreak havoc on his body and his life. Liam has concealed the truth behind a veneer of forced calm and noble sacrifice, refusing to burden his father, Bill Spencer, or the women who once loved him. He does not want his loved ones to witness him deteriorate. Yet secrets like tumors grow in darkness, and soon Liam's deterioration becomes impossible to hide. Hope, grappling with the truth, confides in Steffi, not out of loyalty to her, but out of desperation for Liam's daughters to have stability when he's gone, and the women, so long at odds, reach an uneasy truce in the wake of shared sorrow. It's a development that stuns Brooke, who returns from Italy reeling from her own emotional upheaval, only to find her daughter forging peace with Steffi Forrester, the very woman who once tore her family apart. The double shock, Nick's return and Hope's new alliance, shakes Brooke to her core, forcing her to confront not only the ghosts of her past loves, but the legacy she's left behind in her children. As Liam's condition worsens, his inner turmoil deepens. He urges Hope to find happiness with Carter Walton, believing that the man who once stood in the shadow of his own romantic entanglements can now offer her the stability and long life that Liam himself can no longer guarantee. But Carter, overhearing a private conversation, begins to unravel emotionally, unaware that Liam is acting not out of apathy but out of selfless love. Daphne Rose, sensing an opportunity, whispers comfort into Carter's ears, pushing him toward a future that may or may not include Hope, perhaps because she wants it to include herself. This triangle simmers quietly while louder storms rage elsewhere. Luna Nozawa, once the innocent intern who simply wanted to learn the ropes at Forrester, now burns with vengeful fire after being coldly dismissed by Steffi, who sees Luna's attachment to Finn as a threat to her marriage. Luna, heartbroken and cornered, begins to plot, not with malice, but with the fierce desperation of a woman who has tasted love and seen it ripped away. Her plan to use Will Spencer as a pawn begins to take shape, and though her intentions may seem benign at first, a shoulder to cry on, a friend in crisis, it becomes increasingly clear that Luna's emotional descent is being accelerated by feelings of abandonment and rejection, fueled in part by the rumors surrounding Liam's health, which have begun to leak despite everyone's best efforts. Back in Italy, the drama reaches a fever pitch. Brooke is torn between the passion Nick rekindles and the security Rich provides. Late-night walks along moonlit cobblestone streets and wine-fueled conversations about what could have been start to dissolve the carefully constructed barriers around her heart. Rich sees it all and can't contain himself. An explosive confrontation erupts between him and Nick at a secluded seaside villa, where years of rivalry and resentment come crashing down in a storm of fists, insults, and painful truths. Brooke, caught in the middle, doesn't know whether to intervene or let them fight it out once and for all. Watching these two men battle for her like it's 2006 again forces her to ask herself, who is she now, and what does she really want? It's a question that becomes all the more complicated when Eric reveals his own hand, confessing to Donna that he had hoped the trip would rekindle Ridge and Brooke's bond, but now wonders if fate has other plans. Eric's cryptic behavior adds another layer of intrigue. Does he know something about Nick's arrival that he isn't saying? And could it be that Eric's true concern isn't Brooke's heart, but the future of the company and the Forrester name? Meanwhile, the action in Los Angeles crescendos as Liam begins to lose his grip, physically and emotionally. He collapses during a father-daughter outing with Kelly, prompting Steffi to finally confront the truth she suspected all along. Finn, ever the dedicated doctor, runs tests and confirms what no one wanted to admit. Liam's tumor is inoperable and time is running out. Hope, devastated, rushes to his side, just as Daphne corners Carter and plants a kiss meant to seal their budding romance. Only for Hope to witness it, sparking a wave of doubt and betrayal that could push her right back into Liam's arms in his final days. Luna, seeing her chance, slides closer to Will, playing the part of concerned friend while calculating her next move in her quest to win back Finn. But it's not just a love story anymore. It's a story of grief, legacy, and survival. In Italy, Brooke makes a fateful decision. She tells Ridge that she needs time, that seeing Nick has awakened a part of her she thought was gone, and that she won't be rushed into choosing. Ridge, furious and heartbroken, storms off only to run into Taylor, who has indeed shown up under the guise of a spontaneous trip, but who has been watching from afar, waiting for Ridge to be alone again. The triangle reforms, but this time with the added twist of Nick's return. Eric warns them all that the past cannot be rewritten, only understood, but his words fall on deaf ears as the younger generation continues to spiral into their own crisis. Liam's worsening condition becomes the gravitational center of everything. Hope's romantic future, Steffi's emotional healing, Bill's attempts to be a better father, and even Luna's quest for purpose all bend toward the singular tragedy of a good man facing an unjust fate. By the time the Forrester jet returns home, everything has changed. Brooke, once the queen of love triangles, now finds herself courted not by men, but by destiny itself. Will she rekindle the fire with Nick? Or choose the familiar comfort of Ridge? Will Ridge, burned one too many times, finally accept that maybe Brooke isn't his destiny after all? Will Taylor's quiet composure prevail? And what of Eric's secret motivations? Could they involve more than matchmaking? Could Eric be setting the stage for his own farewell, orchestrating one last dramatic act before bowing out? And back in Los Angeles, Liam's health becomes public knowledge, uniting friends and enemies alike in a collective grief that's both beautiful and excruciating. Luna, standing alone at the edge of the Forrester pool during a somber garden party, watches Finn with haunted eyes, her heart whispering a plan she may soon regret. Hope, still in love with Liam but pulled toward Carter, finds herself at a crossroads. Carter, caught between two women and his own wounded pride, makes a decision that could redefine his future. And Brooke, standing in the ruins of old love stories and the birth of new ones, realizes that her greatest love might not be any man, but her own strength to stand alone beneath the Italian stars and say, finally, I choose me.